My dear sisters and brothers, I was advised to discuss today several topics. How Sharia works, what it means for women, the potential threat to Americans, how best American policy can be made to ensure freedom of religion per the constitutional guarantees, and how individual Christian can help their Muslim neighbor come to a saving understanding of the truth of the gospel. Although these subjects would occupy a full semester, but I will squeeze them in half an hour as I was advised. So I will give such headings with brief notes. First, what is Sharia and how it works? Sharia is the religious law of Islam. Muslims believe Sharia is God's law, but they differ as to what exactly it entails. Sharia deals with many topics addressed by secular law, including crime, politics, and economics, as well as personal matters such as sexuality, hygiene, prayer, and fasting. Sharia is applied by Islamic judges. The reintroduction of Sharia is a long-standing goal for Islamist movements in Muslim countries. In Western countries, where Muslim immigration is more recent, Muslim minorities have introduced Sharia family law for use in their own disputes with varying degree of success. Attempts to impose Sharia have been accompanied by controversy, violence, and even warfare. These are just some headings about Sharia. Second, the stature of women in Islam. What Sharia means for women? Here are some Sharia laws concerning the stature of women in Islam. First, in 214 original Islamic references books, among which is the book of Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 1, page 116, the second authentic book after the Quran. Prophet Muhammad says, women are deficient in mind and religion. That is a devaluation of women's stature. But why? That's because woman has no similar stature as man, as she exists for the sake of man. In Surah Al-Baqarah, the cow, verse 82, it says, woman is not equal to man in testimony, as it is supposed to have two witnesses for testimony if they were men. But if they were women, it must be two women in the place of a man, but not to replace the two men by four women. There must be a man among the witnesses, so her witness is half of that of a man. 3. In heritage, the same thing applies. Woman inherits half of man's heritage, as in Surah An-Nisa, the woman, verse 11. To the male, a portion equal to that of two females. It's really a strange situation. Why woman is devaluated? The clerics are telling that's for the heritage to be confined to the family only. So what? Let it be outside the family. That's a legal right. Must be given to the one who deserves it fairly. So there is no fairness and justice, no equality between man and woman. 4. From Islamic books and references, there are big question marks. The Muslim woman is veiled. Why then man is not veiled? That exists, as we know, in Surah Al-Ahzab, the Confederates, verse 59. The veiling of woman, that was the suggestion of Umar ibn al-Khattab, who said to the Prophet, look, women are facing intruders of pious and impious people. So he suggested to veil them. And the verse came down with that meaning. Here, Omar said, I accorded with my Lord in 3 things, among them the veiling of women. We can find that in Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 1, page 157. 5. The most serious of what I have read is what was mentioned in Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 1, page 192. A converse saying, woman is like dog and donkey as she disrupts the prayer. If a man touches the hand of a woman before praying and he had already performed ablution, his ablution is ruined and he must do ablution again. 6. What is more shocking than that is the saying of Muhammad in the commentary of Quran by Al-Qurtubi, volume 15, page 172. Woman is like a sheep, cow, and she-camel, because all of them are, are mounted. Sorry for repeating these bad words. Does the Muslim woman think of that situation? Would she accept that? She is subdued and can't object. It's even more than that. Really, I am feeling a real bitterness when I read such things in Islam. As woman in Christianity was created on God's image, she has her own worth, dignity, her own feelings and stature. Could you imagine what is written in Surah An-Nisa, the women, verse 15 and 35? It was mentioned that the husband can punish his wife by striking her, abandoning her in bed, and imprisoning her to death. 8. What does not Sharia give women? Why does not Sharia give women the full right as men? As men can marry at the same time 2, 3, 4 women, and what has the right hand can possess of women. So if there is fairness, why there is no verse permitting women to marry at the same time 2, 3, or 4 men? and what her right hand also can possess of men. 9. Also something strange in Surah An-Nisa, the women, verse 24, speaking about a woman being merchandise. For a man to have a pleasure with her, he should give her a wage, pay her money for sex. 10. In Surah Al-Talaq, the divorce, verse 1, Sharia gives the husband the right to divorce his wife without any reason. In Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 2, page 933, if he divorces her for the third time, she needs a facilitator or muhallil that's well known to all Muslims. A man who is not her husband to marry her and have sex with her, then after divorcing her, she can go back to her husband if he wishes for that. That's an obvious prophetical converse. 11. Quran says in Surah At-Tur, the mount in Sinai, verse 20, that when a believer dies, he will go to the Muslim paradise, Jannah, and get lots of beautiful virgins, 72 Hur al-Ain, beautiful eyes. But women will have nothing in the Muslim paradise, Jannah. So even in Muslim Jannah, there is no equality between man and woman. Moreover, Muhammad said in Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 1, page 116, that most of the inhabitants of hell are women. Now we come to the third point, the potential threat to Americans. Many are confused. Is Islam a religion of violence or one of peace? When we actually study the book of Islam, the Quran, we discover that Islam has two faces. Each of these faces represents a certain stage of Muhammad's character. One in Mecca and the other in Medina. In Mecca, where Muhammad started his new religion in the year 610 AD, he was not yet strong. To be accepted by all people, he presented a peaceful and loving picture of Islam, avoiding any mention of violence. And here are some quotations from the Quran about that first stage. Surah Al-Muzammil, the enfolded one,